What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Touchdown and Ties, the father-daughter sports podcast where she knows ball because he taught her. I'm your co-host, Brianna, the daughter of this duo.
What up, everybody? And I'm Keith, her dad, the other co-host.
In today's bonus episode, we're going to be talking about specifically the Thursday night football with the Cowboys versus the Lions. But before we do, if you haven't already, please go ahead and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. That way you get updated whenever we upload an episode. And of course, it also helps us out as well. All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
All right, let's do it.
All right, big win for the Lions this week. It has been kind of an ebb and flow of season. It was a flow for Thursday night football. They thankfully kept their playoff hopes alive, and they got a very good win against the Dallas Cowboys. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better than we did after the Green Bay game. The Lions played a very good game. This was a game that they absolutely had to win. I thought this game was more of a must-win for Detroit than it was for Dallas, simply because Dallas still, they have an opportunity to win the NFC East, whereas the Lions, I don't think they have a chance to win the NFC North. They've already lost to the Packers twice. They lost to Minnesota. So they're behind in that division, whereas the Cowboys are only a game and a half behind Philadelphia with 4 games to play. It's still going to be an uphill battle for the Cowboys as well to not only win the division, but make the playoffs. But
for sure,
make no mistake about it, had the Lions lost that game, their season probably would have been over.
Yeah, going into this game, the Lions only had a 30% chance of making the playoffs. And if they would have lost, it would have gone down to 18%. And now that they won, it's gone up to 53%. I've seen some different numbers, but these specifically, I just went off of next gen stats just because I've heard of them the most. There were a couple of different things out there, but in the case that if the Lions would have lost, you said it last week that Dallas would have then surpassed the Lions in the NFC rankings, but thankfully that's not the case because the Lions would have been tied with the Panthers. So now they're sitting at 8-5, and if they win the last 3 of their 4 games, they very much have a chance of getting into the playoffs.
Yeah, if they run the table, they'll definitely be in the playoffs with 12 victories. I mean, the NFC is really tough this year, but 12 wins, even if they get to 11, I think they'll make the playoffs. But they have to keep winning. I mean, that was the most impressive thing Thursday night, is that how well they played. The Lions haven't played a game like that. It's been a while since they have played a complete game like that. Yeah, all 3 phases of the game complemented each other. The defense finally woke up. They had 5 sacks, created 3 turnovers, and had a number of other pressures against Dak Prescott. Even though he almost passed for 400 yards in the game, it's silly. It seems silly to say that, but the defense played well. I mean, the Cowboys have a high-powered offense, and the Lions played well against them. Like I said, they had the 5 sacks, they had 3 turnovers.
That they capitalized off of, at least 2 of them, because the third one was at the end of the game, but 2 of them were touchdowns, so that was really good.
Right, and that's something that the Lions haven't been doing all season is converting these turnovers into touchdowns. I know they have been maybe kicking field goals and that sort of thing, but they hadn't really been converting turnovers into touchdowns. And in this game, they did it. Think about it like this. They converted 3 of those turnovers to 2 touchdowns, which was 14 points. The final margin of victory was 14 points.
14 points,
So getting those turnovers certainly helped. Yeah. And then in turn, the Lions didn't turn the ball over at all. The offense played a pretty clean game as far as turnovers were concerned. So it was a very good game. Tom Kennedy, he had an excellent game returning kicks. He was setting the Lions up all night with great field position.
Yeah, they were almost at midfield pretty much every time they returned the ball.
Yeah, and it was a big momentum shift for them because it always came obviously after the Cowboys scored. They're kicking off. He's getting the ball. Kick to him, and he's giving them field position at the 40-yard line, close to midfield. So the offense, which was clicking on Thursday night, took advantage of that, and that helped keep the Cowboys from really gaining a lot of momentum because the Lions offense would come right back out and score. You get a field goal or a touchdown or whatever. So all 3 phases of the game, they played very well, and that's exactly what they needed. Their backs up against the wall, so to speak. They had to have that game, and they got it done.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to jump around too much, but you were talking about how that's something that they haven't been able to do a lot this year was convert on 3rd downs and turnovers and things like that. One thing they didn't do in this game either was they didn't go for it on 4th down at all. And in the past, that's something that you would have been like, why are we not going for it on 4th down? But you talked about Dan Campbell kind of playing situational football and having one game plan coming in and then adjusting as needed, because there were too many 4th downs. It was like 4th and 9. Like, you're not necessarily going to go for that. And there were certain times that you said it's okay to kick the ball, whether it's to punt the ball, field goal. And like you
Yeah.
said, with a game like this, any kind of points on the board is helpful because yes, the Cowboys had 3 turnovers, but they had Dak pass for almost 400 yards. They had pulled the game within 3 points at one time. And even
Right.
before they went into halftime, they were able to get more of a lead by kicking a field goal. So
Right.
that was
Yeah.
good kind of game calling. I feel like this was probably one of Dan
Mhm.
Campbell's best games that he called was against the Cowboys for sure.
Yeah, and that's a good observation. I mean, because they didn't go for it on fourth down. He coached smart, right? There
Mhm.
was only one instance where people probably could have said, "Oh, you should have gone for it," and that was when they got their field goal blocked. But I'm
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah.
they blocked the kick. It's okay.
It happens.
It's
Yeah,
okay. What
yeah.
happens?
It
So it's
wasn't
no
on
big
Jake
deal. Yeah, yeah. It's just the guy just missed a block, looked like to me, and they
Right.
blocked the kick or whatever. So, but that was
Yeah.
the only time I think throughout the game where somebody might. I didn't question it. I thought it was okay that he
Yeah.
he kicked the field goal. Like I
I
said, the
was
guy
just
just
annoyed
got
that
it
it was
blocked.
blocked. I was like, "Dang."
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, and good things happen, and it wasn't too many situations in that game where they needed to go for it on fourth down because the
No, it
Lions
really
controlled the
wasn't.
game. They never trailed at any point throughout the course of the game. I mean,
Right.
they came out first possession, kicked the field goal. Dallas came back, kicked their field goal, but then after that,
Mhm. They
the
able to score a
Lions controlled the
touchdown.
game.
Mhm.
I mean, they were up
Yep.
11 at halftime, came right out of the halftime, got the
Yeah, got the
interception,
turnover.
scored the touchdown. 27-9. And now at that point, you just need to manage the game. So there wasn't
And
too
for a
many
little bit there, I was
opportunities.
like, "We're not
Mhm.
managing," because like I said, because
It
the
got
Cowboys but yeah,
yeah.
the Cowboys kinda had their run there in a little bit because that's when they pulled the
Right.
game within 3, and then
It was
I
30
wanna
to
say it was
27.
what was it? I don't know if it was the Gibbs run or when he passed it to St. Brown that kinda
Right.
pulled it away a little bit more. I don't remember exactly which part of the game that was, but
Right.
yeah.
I mean, you mentioned Jahmyr Gibbs. I mean, Jahmyr
The
Gibbs
savior.
is I mean, if he's not the best player, I don't wanna get, too excited and
Yeah.
just boast too much about the kid or whatever, but Jahmyr Gibbs is easily one of the best players in the NFL. No question about it.
100%,
No
100%.
question about
Biases
it.
aside, I mean, you could
Yeah.
say that about a lot of different guys at different positions.
Right.
Jahmyr Gibbs is one of them ones in the
Yeah.
NFL, like,
And it's
easy
crazy because people laughed at Brad Holmes when he drafted
when they
Jahmyr
drafted
Gibbs
him
at so high. Not so much that they drafted him, but because they drafted him so
so
high.
high.
I'm not in analytics to tell you you shouldn't draft a guy at this position this high and all that nonsense. All I know is I remember watching this kid play a lot at Alabama, and
Right.
he was very good at
You
Alabama.
were like, "Thank
And so,
goodness."
so when the Lions drafted him, I was just like, yeah, we may need other pieces because at the
Yeah.
time they had just signed David Montgomery,
Mm,
DeAndre Swift, who's now with Chicago, was still on the team, and he was pretty good. He was a pretty good back too. But I was like, man, why don't we draft another running back? Jahmyr Gibbs, when you watched him play at Alabama, you was just like, they'll figure out something to do with this
right, that's
kid.
like
I
something to
mean,
do with
they,
them, yeah.
yeah. So I wasn't disappointed that they drafted him. I was just
No.
concerned, like, okay, I knew they just drafted David Montgomery. I mean, I drafted David Montgomery. They had just signed him in free agency a couple months before the draft or whatever. So I'm like, okay, that
Mhm.
must not be good news for DeAndre Swift. And sure
Right.
enough, like within a week or so, they had released him or traded him Chicago,
Got the
whatever
boot,
they
yeah.
did with him,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
Philly.
yeah.
I think he went to Philadelphia first, actually. But yeah, people laughed, and it's like, who's laughing now? I mean, this
Yeah,
guy's
I
one of
would
the best players in the NFL.
Yeah, I always see any time after Jahmyr Gibbs has a big game, which, hello, is every week, I always
Right.
see the video of them celebrating on draft night when they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, and everybody
Yeah.
else was like,
They're
"Why
very
are they doing
excited.
this?"
Yeah.
and yada, 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 and then like, "Ha, we
Yeah.
got you," because he had a vision, clearly, because it's been working
Yeah.
for the Lions. I mean, this man's name is literally in the same sentence with Barry Sanders. He tied his
Right.
record this game against the Cowboys, and he's gonna turn 24 in the offseason, and we also have 4 weeks left of the season. So it's very much a real possibility that he is going to hold that record all to himself. Probably
Right.
this week, upcoming week against the Rams. We'll probably be able to witness history in person. I'm very
Yeah.
excited for one.
Yeah.
I, yeah, it would have been nice for it to be at Ford Field, but for one, Detroit Lions fans, they travel very well. You have been
Right.
to SoFi for a Lions game, and you have said plenty of times that it feels like a home game in some instances. And no offense to the Rams organization, but their fan base is not very strong, especially when you have so many teams in LA and that team was not in LA originally. So it tends to
Mhm.
be very lopsided. So it would have been nice for it to be at Ford Field because it would have been jumping and popping if he would have broke it at home. But it's still going to be nice to see it because he's going to get a touchdown against the Rams.
Hopefully
I mean,
so. Yeah,
hopefully
hopefully
so.
so.
We have seen games where he hasn't gotten a touchdown because, good defensive performances from the opposing team, but it's a very, very real possibility that he would do it this upcoming week against the Rams next
Right.
Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, next Sunday against the Rams. He should get
Yeah.
it. Hopefully he will. I mean, he's such an integral part of the Lions offense that it's hard
Mhm.
to I feel bad for David Montgomery because David
I
Montgomery is an
know.
excellent running back, but
Yeah.
the Lions offense is just not the same without
Mhm.
Jahmyr Gibbs. And
Yeah.
David Montgomery was huge in this game
And
against
this
Dallas. I think
100%.
he was the one who helped get the offense going with that big
A
run that
little
he
bit.
had when the touchdown run that he had for 35 yards. I think that kind of got the
Mhm.
offense going a little bit. But
Yeah.
it's just hard to take JG off the field. The Lions are just a different team with
With
him
Gibbs
on
on
the
the
field.
field.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's one of those guys that literally every time he touches the ball, you're on the edge
Yeah.
of your seat thinking like, okay, he's going to take this one to
He
the
could do
house.
something. I
He's
mean,
just a
there
very
was there were
exciting guy to
some
watch.
there were so many times, but specifically at the end of the game, but I don't
Hmm.
know whoever got the block. They got a march. They gave the ball to Jahmyr Gibbs. They got
Hmm.
the block, and before he even went in the end zone, I was like touchdown. I was like, because it was
Yeah.
just clear. I was like, and then what did he do? He just skipped in. He just skipped in. I was like,
Yeah, that was the
okay, well
last
there you
one.
go.
Yeah.
That's the last one.
Number
Yeah,
57.
exactly.
Yeah, 57
Yeah,
got the block. Cologne.
yeah. I
I
was
can't
like,
remember his first name, but yeah,
yeah.
he's the one who opened up the hole for him to,
I was like,
like
good
you said,
block, good
basically just
touchdown.
walk into the end zone. And that was
Yeah, and
ball
he knew it
game once
too.
he did that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
I
ball
was like, "Oop,
game.
good
Yeah,
night."
it was a good win. It was a very good win. The Cowboys, they did an excellent job,
Mhm.
containing Jameer as far as keeping him under control as far as rushing the
Yeah.
ball because he only had like 40 some odd yards rushing the ball, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, 'cause they're using
Um,
him a lot in the pass play as well. They're not
but that's the
just giving.
difference. That's the difference. That one play to the sideline where he broke Deron Bland's ankles, where he
Yeah,
stopped and then Deron Bland went out of
came
bounds.
back. Yeah, it was on all
that was
fours. I was
that
like,
was
"Dang."
that was an incredible play,
Yeah, I was like, "Ooh,
and
he
they
felt
picked up a
great."
first down. Yeah, because if he had a tackled him there, the Lions would have been forced to
Yeah,
punt that
of course,
ball.
yeah. Yeah, they would have.
So that
Yeah,
was an excellent
that was
play.
a great play. Yeah.
He's such a weapon in
Mm,
the passing game as well as the running game, and that's why I said
yeah.
it's just hard to take him off the field.
Right.
He's such an advantage for them against any linebacker, a safety, you name it. Anybody that you want to try to put on this kid, he's so fast, so quick that he's a nightmare for these guys to try to
Yeah, I mean,
contain.
he's running at 22 miles an hour sometimes. Like, what
Yeah,
who can do that? Jahmyr Gibbs.
yeah,
Good for us.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Now it's
one
time for him to get paid. I mean, the Lions are going to have to probably pay him this
yes.
offseason.
Yeah, and they better. I mean, I know for I won't say know for a fact, like, I'm not gonna speak matter of factly like that,
Hmm.
but when you have this kinda guy on the field and you have this kind of weapon on your team, you gotta keep him. I mean,
Oh yeah,
yes, it's gonna affect
yeah.
your salary cap for other players, but again, like you've said, you see how an integral part that he is to the offense, and when he's not on the
Hmm.
field, there is a big difference. Like I said, no offense to these other guys, I mean, we still have J-Mo, you still have David Montgomery, but we have Jahmyr Gibbs, and we need to keep Jahmyr Gibbs. So whatever he needs,
Yeah,
pay him. I don't wanna
yeah.
hear
They'll
no
pay
talk
him.
about it. They'll pay him.
Yeah,
They'll
there's no
pay him.
question. He will be,
Yeah.
if not the highest paid running back in the league.
Right.
This offseason, he'll be one of the highest paid running backs in the league.
Yeah.
I have no doubt about that. I think right now Saquon Barkley is the
Yeah.
highest paid running back in the league per
Running back.
year on an average
Mhm.
basis or whatever, like $20 million or whatever it is. Jahmyr Gibbs will be in that neighborhood for sure,
For
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah.
And I love the way that they use him because they have David Montgomery on the team. It's not like they overuse him. Like he's on the field every single play, so he's getting his
Right.
body beat up and that sort of thing. It
Right.
definitely helps to have another excellent back on the squad like David
Mhm.
Montgomery when he does get an opportunity to be in
Right.
the game to take some of the pressure off of Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
So
And then
yeah,
makes plays, so it still helps. It's
hmm,
not you just giving him to
yeah,
get a couple reps, you're arguably
right,
putting him in the game and the offense is staying off the field. So
yeah, yeah. David
it's pretty
Montgomery is
good.
huge for this team, man. They can't
Yeah.
lose him either.
No,
They
I was
can't
gonna
lose
say
number
both
five
of
either.
them.
They
No.
need David Montgomery.
They
Make no
need both
mistake
of
about
them.
it.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. Yeah, and
yeah,
another person that, we've been talking about for a couple of episodes would be J-Mo. He had a lot of production in this game too. I like what I was seeing from him as well. It was
yeah.
just all around good offensive play this game. It was great. Like I said, every phase that you want to see from both sides of the ball, it was great. But J-Mo had a big game too.
And I've been screaming all year about getting him more involved in the offense. And this is why. And I've said this before. J-Mo is to the passing game what Jameer is to the running
The
game.
run, yes.
Every time
Yes.
J-Mo touches the ball, you can't tell me you don't think that he's going to take the ball to the house. I mean, the
Right.
guy he runs excellent routes. He's fast. If Jameer's not the fastest guy on the team, then it's got to be J-Mo.
J-Mo,
I
yeah. They're neck
mean,
and
both
neck.
these
Like if
guys,
one is
they're
here, the
neck
other
and
one is
neck.
like right here. you know?
Exactly.
They're very
Exactly.
close.
And for him all of a sudden now to get these opportunities, he's showing what he can do. He's not just a
Mhm.
deep threat. I think the Lions just primarily for his first couple of years just used him to take the top off the defense to open up things underneath. His route running has improved dramatically, and now he's a threat. And now you have two very good receivers with Amon
Yep.
Ra and
Yep.
with
And JMO.
or Jared Goff to
Yeah.
choose from. So I
Yeah,
w
and
it was
Tez
he
Law's
had an
on the
excellent
come up
game.
too. I mean, look at his production during the game. I mean,
Yeah,
when he's on the field too, I'm happy that he's there too, because I've seen him being
yeah,
able to do a couple of things. So it's just
yeah.
like you always say, you always want to be able to reload. I feel like the Lions are in a case where they are able to
Mhm.
reload at different positions. So that is
Right.
very, very nice to have.
And especially with the tight end position being injured, you lost Laporta for
Yes.
the season.
Yeah.
Then his backup
Mhm.
Brock Wright is on IR. So now
Yeah.
your wide receivers are going to get more targets, right? And these guys are
Mhm.
stepping up and getting the job done. At least in this game, I mean, Goff had over 300 yards passing in
Mhm.
this game. Again, against a Cowboy defense that had been playing very well over the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Very much lights out. They've been playing very, very
Yeah,
well.
ever since they picked up Quentin Williams, the Cowboys
Mhm.
defense has
Mhm.
improved. Not just trading to pick him up, but they got a bunch of guys back who were injured early in the season. So the
Yeah.
Cowboys defense is a lot better now than it was
At the
four
beginning,
weeks
yeah, because they were
ago.
struggling. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
so it
struggling.
was it was huge to put up 44 points against these guys. A lot of the national media picked the Cowboys to win the game. They didn't think that the Lions were going to be able to get it done. And the Lions have now gone 3 years and counting
Mhm.
since they have lost back-to-back games
Yeah, yeah.
in 3 years, which
Still,
is
like I said,
now tied for an NFL record.
yeah, still, like
15
I said,
straight.
we still have 4 games left for the season, and with their track record, like I said, it's been a lot of ebbs and flows. Hopefully, the ebbs are over because
Yeah.
we can't be win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. But one of the
No.
huge factors, and that you've already alluded to it, is the injuries. In a matter of what, a week, the Lions have lost
Yeah.
Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, and at this point, Detroit is down pretty much their entire tight end position, your starting guard, your starting corner, your safeties, and your third string wide receiver. And then that's not even mentioning the other guys that are on IR who might just be questionable or whatever. So these other guys are just
Right.
out. So the injuries have been the catalyst for the Lions for the past 2 years. So I don't know if there needs
Mhm.
to be some kind of change or reevaluation of the strength and conditioning staff, the athletic training staff. I am an athletic trainer. Injury prevention is in our title. I'm not going to harp on that because there are
Mhm.
some things that can be out of your control because it is very much a two-way street. The athlete has to be doing what they have to be doing as well as your staff. But there's clearly something going on to where you have all of these injuries 2 years in a row. Because if this team is 110% healthy and playing the way they need to be playing, they arguably could be unstoppable.
I mean, it's the NFL, so no team is
Yeah,
gonna be healthy even once the
healthy.
season start. Before they even play a
Yeah,
real game, guys get hurt.
yeah.
You
But
mentioned
to
Kirby
this
Joseph.
extent, gee,
Yeah. You mentioned Kirby Joseph. Joseph hasn't played in 6 weeks, maybe 6 or 7
yeah,
weeks, and it came out a couple weeks ago that he has this chronic knee injury that he may have to deal with.
yeah,
He may be able to play, but may have to deal with the pain from it or whatever. But
right.
make no mistake about this, losing Brian Branch is going to
Mhm,
hurt the Lions because some
percent.
guys are just irreplaceable. You can't replace a guy like Brian Branch, especially considering the trade deadline is over. You
Mhm,
can't go out and trade for another top safety in the NFL. Obviously, you haven't drafted anybody. If there was a guy like Brian Branch that could play like Brian Branch, he would already be
mhm,
on somebody's team.
right.
So unless they get very, very, very lucky with a guy on the practice squad or, they
Yeah,
pick up a dude that's been waived by somebody else. I mean, I
mhm,
don't know,
right.
but make no mistake about it. Losing number 32 is going to hurt the Lions. It's going to hurt a lot.
100%.
It's
And then
going to hurt a lot.
even with this game against the Cowboys, you could just tell that he wasn't 100% because they were struggling a
Mhm.
lot in the secondary. He was missing I wanna say
Mhm.
he was missing a lot of things, but things that I feel like he normally would be able to defend, he wasn't really getting. And obviously, these teams that the Lions have been
Mhm.
playing understand that they're weak right now in the secondary because they're just
Mhm.
passing balls all day long, deep balls all day long. The routes are 9 all the way down the field. So
Yeah.
they've been taking advantage of it, which unfortunately for the
Yeah.
Lions, like you always say, in the trenches, they're gonna have to be able to get to the quarterback quick because to be fair, Dak did have a lot of time on several
Mhm.
plays to
Mhm.
get the ball downfield and to get first downs.
Yeah. I mean, he passed for almost 400 yards. We said that
Yeah.
already. So, despite the Lions being able to sack him 5 times and again put
Mhm.
pressure on him a number of other times, he was still
Mhm.
able to find wide open receivers.
Yeah.
CD Lamb went out like the beginning of the
Yeah.
second half with a concussion, and he
Mhm.
already had
Mhm.
120 yards receiving in the game.
Like, yeah,
So the Lions secondary is
it's
not that good
struggling.
right now.
Yeah.
So you would hope that the front seven, those guys could put more pressure on the quarterback so those guys don't have to cover as long
Yeah.
on the back end.
Yeah.
But We saw a little glimpse of that. Muhammad had 3 sacks in this
Mhm.
game against the Cowboys. Like I said, they had 5 total sacks. But yeah, again,
Mhm.
even with all of that, the
He still
Cowboys passed
had
for almost
almost
400
400, yeah,
yards. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the good news is that after you play the Rams next week, you're not going to
right.
face the same caliber of
Caliber of a
quarterback
quarterback, that's very
as
true,
a
yeah,
Dak Prescott or Matt
or Matthew
Stafford.
Stafford.
You get Aaron Rodgers, you get JJ McCarthy maybe again, and you get Caleb Williams, who's a pretty good quarterback,
Mhm.
but certainly not the caliber of a Dak or Matt
Yeah,
Stafford. So
yeah,
maybe that'll
kinda
help a
help a
little
little bit,
bit if
yeah.
you're looking for a silver lining,
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, because all the
But
quarterbacks are not all good quarterback. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is not a scrub. Obviously, he wouldn't have been in the league for
no,
as long as he's been, and,
Aaron Rodgers
you
is still
know
very capable. He's still
yeah,
very capable.
exactly. So
But certainly
but
he's
it
not the Aaron Rodgers that
of
won 4 MVPs in his career.
right, right, no offense.
He's still capable. So I mean, I'm not saying
Yes,
that these guys are scrubs by no stretch of
by
the
no means.
imagination. There are
Yeah,
no scrubs in the NFL. But I'm
right.
just saying, Dak and Matt Stafford will probably be top 2, top 3 MVP candidates this year. The Lions secondary it's gonna be a challenge. It was a challenge against the Cowboys. It's gonna be a challenge against the
Mhm.
Rams.
Yeah.
That just means the offense is just gonna have to continue to step up.
Mhm.
They're gonna have to
Yeah.
continue to step up because the defense will probably give up some points.
Yeah.
They will probably give up some points. You can't always count on getting 3 turnovers every game,
Every single game. Yeah.
against these high caliber teams. They don't beat themselves. So the
Right.
offense is gonna have to play like they did this past week against the Cowboys and then maybe play
Mhm.
even a little bit better
To say
because
probably
they're
better.
gonna have to score some points. Yeah. They're
Yeah,
gonna need
against
some
the
points,
Rams.
man.
So, yeah.
I mean, it was good that Amon Ra played. I didn't think that he was gonna
Yeah.
play.
He didn't
I
practice
think
not
that was a
one
huge
day
boost.
whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was crazy. I mean, and you saw him in the
Yeah.
warm-ups and then the plays he made in the
Mhm.
field. I'm like, "He was injured? He didn't
Yeah.
practice all week because he looked fine to
I
me."
mean, he said the first couple of days after the injury, he couldn't walk.
Yeah,
Like
that's
that
crazy.
Friday, that Saturday, that Sunday. I mean, he couldn't walk. And then all of a
Yeah,
sudden he started feeling better by Tuesday. And he said, okay, maybe
right.
there's a chance.
Yeah,
The fact that the guy played was huge for the
right.
Lions. It was huge.
And he
At
wasn't
first,
just, a minimal usage. He was in
yeah,
the
wasn't a
game
decoy.
making
He wasn't
plays.
a
Yes.
decoy. And I have to admit, at first I didn't want him to play because I'm like,
Right.
man, don't play. I mean, don't
Don't
risk it.
rush it.
Come back maybe the next week against the Rams. And then I thought
Mhm.
that him not playing actually made Jared Goff look a little bit better because he couldn't just focus in on throwing the
Mhm.
ball to
Well,
14
it's
all the time.
14.
It
Yeah.
forced him to
Mhm.
spread the ball around a little bit. But
Yeah.
fortunately, with Saint playing, he spread the
So he
ball
still
around.
did that anyway.
He still
Yeah.
did that. So yeah, so he's gonna have to continue to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
having and that's what I've been saying all season. It's just like, okay, I get St. Brown is an all pro receiver, man, but you got other weapons on your team. I mean, you
Yes.
traded
Yep.
2 or 3 third round draft picks to draft Isaac Tesla, and you can't even get on
Mhm.
the field. And when he
Right.
does, you
Yeah.
don't even throw him the ball. I think the kid only has like 8 catches all season, but 4 of
All
them have been for
season.
touchdowns.
Right. So I'm saying, so some of the, but most of
Yeah.
what he's done has been positive turnaround. So I'm like, I want to see
Yeah.
more of him too.
Throw him the ball. Throw
Yeah.
him the ball more. But,
Yeah.
I guess sometimes you can have too many good weapons. I mean, because,
Right.
you have to get Jameer his touches. I mean, he's gotta touch the ball
Mhm.
15, 20 times a game at least. You
Yeah. He
gotta
had
try to get
19.
Montgomery involved. Yeah, I mean, you gotta try to get Montgomery involved a little bit. You gotta get Amon-Ra, involved. When Sam Laporta is in there, you gotta get him involved. It's
Yeah.
just hard.
We got to spread
You
the
know,
wealth,
yeah, it's hard to get all these guys, involved in the offense.
Yeah.
With the injuries that they have again on the offensive side of the ball, you got to be able to spread the ball around and get 18 involved. You got to be able to get
Mhm.
JMO his touches. If they do that, the Lions will be hard to defend for any
Yeah.
defense because they
Yeah.
have so many guys that can make plays on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it all starts
Well,
up front. I mean, I think I
yeah.
told you this before. It all starts in the trenches, man. If you can't protect your quarterback, you're going to have a hard time, especially Detroit. I mean, those first couple drives against the
Mhm.
Cowboys, they had a lot of pressure up in his face, and
And
I was
Jeff,
just
yeah,
like, man,
yeah, he did. Yeah.
it's gonna be a
It
hard
was
game,
rough
man.
for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't have time to even freaking throw a pass out to the
Mhm.
flat because the
Yeah.
Cowboys deep front
They're
four
right
was
there.
just in his face, and they
In
were
his
getting
face the whole
pressure on him
time.
without blitzing, and that's what make it
Yeah.
even worse when they can get pressure on him without blitzing. But
Mhm.
something happened after that second drive, and the offensive line just got better.
Yeah.
And if they're able to do that, going forward, the Lions will be
The
okay.
rest of the season,
But
yeah. I mean, that's the
they got
kind
to
of
protect
consistency that we
Goff.
got to see, yeah. I mean, because they have,
Yeah,
what,
they
1
need
more
to.
home game? The last 3 out of 4 of their home games are on the road, so that's gonna be tough. Like you said,
Yeah,
they have the Rams this
yeah, and that's
upcoming
against
week,
Pittsburgh.
back in Detroit against
Yeah.
the Steelers, and then
Hmm.
the Vikings, and then the Bears.
Yeah.
We'll
And then they're
see,
going to
but
play. They have another short week when they play the Steelers, and then they come back 4 days later and they have to play the Vikings.
the
So
Vikings on
that's
Thursday
another
night, yeah.
tough stretch right there.
Yeah,
You have to so many games like in a 2-week period.
yeah,
So it's going to be tough. It's going to be
yeah.
tough. But hey, they put themselves in this position. They have no more margin for error. I personally think they can get in with 11 victories.
They should be able
They have
to,
8 right
yeah.
now, so that means maybe if they were to lose to LA or whomever, but they can only lose one more game.
Yeah.
That's if anything, they can
That's
only
literally
lose
their
one
only
more game.
margin for, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
they're
only
going to
margin for
need
error that they
11.
have. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm not an expert with all the tie break scenarios and all of that, but I know the Lions have lost a lot of games in the NFC in the
Mhm.
conference.
To
And
teams
these
that are
teams that are ahead of them, yeah, to teams that are ahead of
above
them.
them.
And these teams have a better, not just head to head, they will win the head to head against the Lions, but
Mhm.
because they have a better record within the conference, it would make
Overall.
it hard for the
Mhm.
Lions to win any tiebreak situation. So they're going to
Yeah.
have to finish ahead of teams.
I mean, say even if they win 11 games, but
Hmm.
all these other teams that are ahead of them keep winning too, they could still very much be out of the playoffs, right? Even if they win
They
11
missed the
games.
playoffs. Yeah, they're going to need some help. They're going to need some of these other
Yeah, they're gonna
teams.
need teams to lose.
And fortunately, these teams will play each other. Like
Right.
Chicago and Green Bay play each other twice. The
Yeah.
Rams have to play Seattle. San
Yeah.
Francisco has to play the Rams. I mean, maybe not the Rams. Maybe they play Seattle. I don't know. But
Yeah,
they
I think
play
I think
each
they
other.
played the Rams twice already.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I
Yeah,
think
I
they
don't know
played them
everybody's
already.
schedule, but I
Yeah.
know the Seahawks and the Rams play on Thursday night in a couple weeks. I know the Bears and
Such
the
a good
Packers
game.
play each other a couple times. So the teams
Mhm.
that are ahead of the Lions right now in the playoffs,
Mhm. There will be some
they
shifting around.
there'll be some shifting because these guys play each other, and that will give the Lions an opportunity because they play uh,
Mhm.
the Rams and they play
Mhm.
Chicago, two of the teams that are not currently ahead of them in the playoff race. So they
Mhm.
get an opportunity to help their own cause by
Mhm.
beating a couple teams that are in front of them.
Yeah.
So if they win 11 games, I think they'll get in. If
Well,
you win 10, I don't think you can get in with 10 because I think the Cowboys are going to win 10 games. I think they're
yeah,
going to win the rest of their games. And
yeah.
because, the Cowboys have that tie on their side, if the
Mhm.
Lions win 10 and the Cowboys win 10 games, even though the Lions beat
Mhm.
the Cowboys will have 6 losses, the Lions will have 7 losses. So
Yikes. Yeah.
even in that scenario, the Cowboys will get in before the Lions. See what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So they have
that's
to
why maybe
that's
say a tie is better than a loss. That makes sense.
in that
Yeah.
scenario, a tie is better than a loss. And that's why I said to be on the safe side, the Lions have to get to 11. They
Yeah.
have to get to 11.
Well, we will see. 4 more
Hmm.
games left. Not a lot of season left. We've reached that point where we can't say it's a lot of football left because there is
No,
not.
the last month of the season is here.
It's
The
December.
last month
Yes.
went
Yes.
by fast.
It did. It did. All right. Well, that is my recap of the Lions. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah.
Covered it
Well,
all.
I do want to say thank you to everyone that has followed us this past week. It's crazy how one video can kind of blow everything up. We have, out of all places, Facebook. We have gained a lot of traction over there. I just post my stuff and go on Facebook, but not anymore.
Mhm.
TikTok, we have over 500 followers now. We have more faces here on YouTube. So I just want to say thank you to everybody who wants to listen to us talk and yap. This is something that we do all the time and the cameras are off. We just decided here recently just to turn the cameras on and see what happens. So I'm happy that you guys are liking it, liking the father-daughter dynamic, and we are happy to have you here. So thank you so much.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this episode up here. We hope that you guys enjoyed our special bonus episode as we recap Thursday Night Football with the Cowboys versus the Lions. If you haven't already, please go ahead and follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. That way you get updated whenever we upload an episode. And of course, it also helps us out as well. All right, we will catch you guys in the next one.
All right, guys. Stay here till we get back.